Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new episode of the South Central Louisiana State Dynasty, where I know it's been a minute since the last episode of this dynasty came out, but we are going to pick off right where we left off, as today we are going to be here at home taking on the defending Sun Belt champions in Western Kentucky, where the Mud Dogs are going to come into this game 3-0, so it's going to be a big matchup and it's going to be a big measuring stick to where we stand in the Sun Belt Conference and if we're ready to take the Sun Belt crown. Going to start off with this coin toss real quick. West Kentucky did call for heads, and it is heads indeed, so the Mud Dogs are going to start off with this ball right away. So here we are, very first play of the game, and Stan Castillo is not going to even have enough time to get the ball off, as Stan Castillo is sacked by Kyle Owens, who takes a loss of 9 yards on the play. Very next play, Stan Castillo is out in the shotgun all by himself, and he still doesn't have enough time as Stan Castillo gets sacked again for 9 yards. 2 plays, 2 sacks. Definitely not a way for the Mud Dogs to start. So here we are, 3rd and 27. See if the quarterback can do anything, and it looks like it's going to be picked off by Mack, and he's able to run it right into the end zone. And Matthew Kirk is going to start the day off with a defensive touchdown for these Hilltoppers. Western Kentucky is going to be able to take a 7-0 lead. So very disappointing first drive for the Mud Dogs. It's going to be interesting to see how they recover from this. It could be very easy for the Mud Dogs to let this game get away like they did this time last year. Casey Bug does take the first carry of the day for him, and it's going to be a 9-yard gain. Next play, actually 3rd and 1 now, and Stan Castillo has a lane, is able to gain 20 yards on the play, and is able to get most, if not all, of the rushing yards back from when he was sacked on those previous drive. Next play is going to be a throw out to John Espinoza, but it's undercut once again by the linebacker, and it's just a very rough start for the Mud Dogs offense. 2 drives, 2 turnovers. Definitely not how you want to start this game. But the defense is going to step right up as Carlos Davis gets sacked for a loss of 10 yards as Doug Carrington, the true freshman, I believe, is able to get his very first sack of the day. Very next play, 2nd and 20 for Western Kentucky. Carlos Davis just has just enough time to throw, but he throws it right into Tyree Pickens. Tyree Pickens is able to pick off the quarterback, and the Mud Dogs are going to have an opportunity to get right back into this ball game. Thought it was going to be a rough start, but it looks like the Mud Dogs are going to be able to come alive here as Casey Bug responds with a 15-yard gain on the carry. Going to be 1st and 10, and the Mud Dogs all of a sudden are starting to drive, and they are showing some life here. Next play here is going to be another carry for Casey Bug. He's able to bounce it to the outside, gains 7 yards on the play, makes it 2nd and 3. Nice, promising start for the Mud Dogs now that they got the interception. A couple of plays later, Mud Dogs are facing a 3rd and 4. Tries to throw it out to Darren Joyce, it looks like, but he's going to drop the pass, loses the matchup against the Western Kentucky defender, and Mud Dogs are going to have to settle for a field goal there. Next play, number 80 is able to get into the open, and he gets a massive gain. Mark Clark is able to gain 59 yards on the play, and Western Kentucky is in the red zone all of a sudden. So the Mud Dogs defense really needs to step up right here, right now, and it's going to be pretty tough when you get blocking like that for Ryan Parker, one of the better running backs in the Sun Belt Conference. Few plays later, Mud Dogs are now facing a 2nd and goal, and Western Kentucky is going to be able to execute as Earl Phillips catches the easy slant from Carlos Davis, and Western Kentucky is going to take a 14-3 lead with about a couple minutes left in the first quarter. Ensuing drive, John Espinoza goes into motion and is going to hand it off to Casey Bug. Casey Bug is able to move forward and make a couple of really nice cuts and gains 13 yards on the play. Very next play is going to be actually a play-action pass. Stan Castillo does not see anybody upfield, so he's going to take it for himself and gains 8 yards on the play. Not a bad run. Never a bad thing to use the legs if you don't see anything upfield. Next play is going to be another run for Casey Bug, and it looks like they're going to definitely key in on that passing game. Try to beat us with the run, and so far we're making them pay for it, as we've been seeing a lot of good success there. Next play, Casey Bug is able to catch a pass from Stan Castillo this time around, and he doesn't get caught until around the 10-yard line. So the Mud Dogs are in position to strike back and the pull within one possession here with about a minute left in this first quarter. Next play is going to be it's going to be for Carl Wright. He's able to bounce it to the outside, and it's going to be a touchdown. Carl Wright is able to follow his blockers and get into the end zone. Mud Dogs are now only down 10-14. Ensuing possession is going to be a wide receiver screen, but it looks like it's broken up by Tyree Pickens, who reads the play extremely well and forces a 2nd and 10. Next play, Carlos Davis is going to scramble straight up field, and is going to be able to pick up the first down all by himself. So, definitely been a wild first quarter, but yet the Mud Dogs are still definitely in this game. Next play, he's going to throw it over, but Joe Thompson is there to pick him off, and it's going to be the second interception by this Mud Dogs defense. Defense is really stepping up in this game. They know the importance of this game in order to potentially win the Sun Belt Conference, this early on in the season. A couple of plays later, Casey Bug is going to get the carry. He's going to gain a few yards, and that's going to be the end of the first quarter. West Kentucky does hold a 14-10 lead, but the Mud Dogs are definitely not quitting as of right now. So here we are, start of the second quarter. Mud Dogs are facing a 3rd and 6. Stan Castillo is going to drop back the pass. He doesn't have enough time to get the pass off, and the Mud Dogs are going to have to settle for a punt. West Kentucky is now going to take over at about the 45-yard line, and it's going to be a nice hole for Ryan Parkins, who is not put down till looks like a 14-yard gain. Plays later, West Kentucky is now facing a 2nd and 11 from the 40-yard line. Carlos Davis is going to drop back the pass. He's actually going to scramble up the left-hand side, gets a decent lane, but he fumbles it. TJ Covington is there to pick up the fumble, and that is going to be West Kentucky's 3rd turnover on the day. Bobby Boucher was there to force the fumble out of the quarterback Carlos Davis, and TJ Covington was there to pick it up. Ensuing possession, the Mud Dogs now have the ball. Going to try to get something going with this little wheel route. Going to try to throw it over to the halfback. Unfortunately, the safety was reading it the entire way. Actually, excuse me, not the safety, but the cornerback Lewis Reed read it the entire way. And it's going to be the 3rd interception already for Stan Castillo in this game. So now Western Kentucky has the ball right back at around the same spot that they had before they fumbled the ball away. First play is going to be a throw up to the right-hand side. However, can't get anything on it because Jason Washington was there to force the pressure and force the bad pass. Next play, Carlos Davis is going to drop back again. This time, it's going to be a throw towards Mark Clark. The tight end is able to gain 8 yards on the play, makes it a very short 3rd and 2 for West Kentucky. Next play here looks like a little bit of I formation. There's going to be a run up to the left-hand side. However, Casey Gibbs is there to make the play, and Western Kentucky is going to have to be forced to kick the field goal, and it's still going to be a one-possession game. So it's now 17-10 for West Kentucky, and Casey Bug has a lane, and he gets brought down, but not before he gains 23 yards on the play. Huge run for the running back, and puts them in a really nice field position at about the 50-yard line, as Casey Bug is able to follow that up with another nice 5-yard gain on the play. A couple of plays later, Mud Dogs are now facing a 3rd and 3. It's going to be a halfback screen over to Casey Bug. However, this time the defense is ready, as the Mud Dogs are going to be forced to punt this ball away. Or so they thought, because head coach Henry Klein wants to go for it, and they're going to get it easily with Casey Bug running right down the middle. Needed 3 yards, but was able to gain 11. So now the Mud Dogs have a fresh new set of downs to work with, and they're going to start the new set of downs with a run with Stan Castillo, getting 10 yards on the play, nearly getting the first down right off the bat. A couple of plays later, now going for a play action, and just doesn't have enough time to throw his ball today, as Stan Castillo takes another sack, this time from Matthew Kirk, who gets his 2nd sack of the day. 3rd and 15 now for the Mud Dogs, though, and it's going to try to get it to John Espinoza, but they're simply not on the same page, and the Mud Dogs are going to have to settle for another field goal once again. Ensuing possession for West Kentucky, this time with only 1:30 left in this first half. So they're going to start it with a throw over to Ryan Parker, who gains 11 yards on the play off the looks like a little bit of a wheel route. Next play, though, Carlos Davis this time is going to try to scramble, but John Miller is there to plug up the hole in the lane before he can go anywhere. Loss of 2 yards on the play. 2nd and 12 now for West Kentucky, though. He tries again. This time gets away from John Miller and is able to slide down for a gain of 9 yards on the play, as West Kentucky is starting to go into their hurry-up offense to try to get some more points on the board before the end of this first half. Ensuing play, it's going to be a throw over to the left sideline, caught by Alfonso Morgan. Gains 7 yards on the play, and more importantly, gets the first down. However, they have to stay in that no huddle because it wasn't a throw over to the out of bounds, but Earl Phillips burns the defense, gains 45 yards on the play. 1st and goal now for West Kentucky, and Carlos Davis this time around gets sacked for a loss of 7 yards. Bruce Terrell was there to get the sack. 2nd and goal now. Going to be a run for Carlos Davis. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage and then some. Makes it a very short 3rd and goal. So here we go. Huge play for the Mud Dogs right here, and the defense is going to step up once again, as it looks like Jason Washington is there to get the sack. So we're going into halftime, and West Kentucky only has a 20-13 lead. However, West Kentucky does have the ball to start the second half, so are going to need to stop right here. Going to be interesting to see how this game plays out. Been a really exciting game so far. It reminds me of how the first half played out last year, actually, as they're able to gain the first down right there. Next play for West Kentucky is going to be a throw over to the left sideline for Mark Clark. He's able to get by a couple defenders, even breaks a tackle or two. Really nice gain on the play. Ensuing play, Carlos Davis is going to keep dropping back. This time gets it to Dan Archer, who only gains 5 yards, and it's going to be 3rd and 7 all of a sudden. So West Kentucky is now facing a 3rd and 7. Would be a really nice stop here. However, that's not going to exactly happen right away, as Eric Butler is able to get away from the man coverage and gains 17 yards on the play. 3rd and 5 now for the West Kentucky Hilltoppers, as they have an opportunity to make this a 2-score game, and they're not going to get the touchdown, but they didn't turn the ball over, so they will have to settle for a field goal once again. Really nice mix of touchdowns and field goals so far in this game, as Stan Castillo gets a nice pass off to John Espinoza. John Espinoza, he does a 360 spin as he's coming off the block. The initial route was, I guess, not working for Stan Castillo, but makes a nice 360 spin to get the ball. Next play, though, Stan Castillo, he's able to get a lane, and he's out in the wide open, and no one's going to catch him. Mud Dogs are going to be able to score right here, right now. 50-yard touchdown run for Stan Castillo, as the Mud Dogs are able to pull within 3 points. Mud Dogs are now only down 23-20. Ensuing play, while Ramadux is able to get into his backfield for looks like his 2nd sack of the day already. This time for a loss of 7 yards on the play, and West Kentucky is going to be facing a 2nd and 17. A couple of plays later, West Kentucky is now facing a 3rd and 13, and he's going to just throw this out of bounds because the pressure was starting to get to him, and we're going to get the ball back, and we have the opportunity to take the lead right here, right now. And we're going to start with that attempt by handing it off to Casey Bugg here. Casey Bugg is able to gain 11 yards on the play. Nice first down run. Next play, looks like it's going to be a pass, but it's actually going to be a quarterback run by Stan Castillo. Stan Castillo is able to gain 11 yards on the play, gets another first down. Mud Dogs offense is starting to roll in this second half as Stan Castillo takes another run. And it's going to be an even bigger game of 16 yards on the play. Mud Dogs are really trying to take the lead right here in this game for the home crowd. And they're going to do just that with Casey Bugg running into the end zone easily for a 17-yard touchdown run. And for the first time today, the Mud Dogs are going to take the lead with about 3 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Mud Dogs are now up 27-23. Ensuing possession for Western Kentucky as they now have a need to respond here. They're going to start with trying to throw it to the right-hand side to Alfonso Morgan, who gains 16 yards on the play and does a really nice job as well of getting that 1 foot down for the pass to be completed. Next play, Carlos Davis is going to drop back the pass once again, and it's going to be a dump off to, looks like the tight end, but they're having a hard time bringing him now, but Mark Clark does eventually get brought down for a gain of, looks like 5 to 6 yards on the play. Couple plays later, West Kentucky is now facing a 3rd and 7. They're going to throw it short to Mark Clark, but he's able to muscle through and gain the first down. Thought the Mud Dogs were going to be able to rally and get him down, but Mark Clark had the sheer will and determination to get the first down there. Next play, quarterback is bottled up into the pocket, and Carlos Davis gets sacked once again by Wow Ramaducks, who I thought that was his second sack on the previous sack that he had, but this is actually his second sack. We'll still take that whatsoever. 3rd and 8 now, and looks like it's going to be another throw, and Tyree Pickens almost has his second interception of the day, but it's going to be a 4th and 8 instead. So now the Mud Dogs are going to try to... Oh, wait a minute. Stan Castillo is still on his feet. He has one man to beat, and that man is not going to be able to catch him. Mud Dogs just scored another touchdown. Stan Castillo is just having a game on the ground as the Mud Dogs are now up 34 to, I think, 23. So here we are, last play of the 3rd quarter though, and it's going to be a throw over to Earl Phillips, who is able to slice through and gain 32 yards in what's going to be the last play of the 3rd quarter. Mud Dogs are going to go into this final quarter of play, leading the defending Sun Belt champions 34-26. Will be interesting to see how this 4th quarter plays out for both teams. Alright, so here we are in the 4th quarter. It's going to start with a run over to the left-hand side. He breaks a tackle, and it looks like Carlos Davis is able to gain about, looks like 8 yards on the play. Going to make it 2nd and 2. Very next play, Archer is going to actually go into the motion here, and it's going to be another run up to the left-hand side where it's a little bit smaller of a gain, but still going to be a first down for the not for the Mud Dogs, but for Western Kentucky nonetheless. Looks like, let's see what West Kentucky cocks up next. It's going to be a halfback screen, and he's not going to be able to even get it off, as his 3rd sack of the game was recorded by Wow Ramaducks, tying the school record for the Mud Dogs. What an amazing performance by this linebacker so far today. Next play, quarterback's going to drop back the pass here. He just sneaks out of the pocket, and he has some running room, and he's able to slide down inside the 10-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal for West Kentucky, with the opportunity to tie this game right back up. Here we go, 1st and goal. We thought we had him wrapped, but it's actually not going to be it for us, as Jerry Sullivan is able to get into the end zone for a touchdown, and it's going to be 34-32 for the Mud Dogs, but West Kentucky does have an opportunity to tie this game up with the 2-point conversion. Next play is going to be Davis driving back, and he doesn't have time to get the ball off as he is sacked by Wow Ramaducks once again. So the Mud Dogs are going to be able to maintain this 2-point lead. Ensuing possession, Stan Castillo is going to hand it off to Casey Bugg on the read option. Casey Bugg's going to go off for 7 yards on the play, going to make it a nice, manageable 2nd and 3 for your South Central Louisiana State Mud Dogs. Next play is going to be another read option. This time he's able to get into some space, as Stan Castillo is able to break a nice 16-yard run, able to break away from multiple defenders. Makes it a nice first down for the Mud Dogs. While the passing game hasn't been working that much today, there's a nice pass to Tim Smith for, looks like it's just the 4th completion of the day for your Mud Dogs, but Tim Smith is able to haul that one in for a 15-yard gain. Really nice connection between Stan Castillo and Tim Smith, both who are true freshmen. Next play, looks like Carl Wright this time is going to get the carry, and what looks like it's only his 2nd carry of the day is able to get the first down. Next play, Stan Castillo has some space, and he's nearly in the end zone, but he's tripped up from the ankles but he is pulled down within the 5-yard line, sets up a 1st and goal. See if the Mud Dogs take the opportunity to take the 2-possession lead, and he's going to do just that. Carl Wright takes the handoff and is able to get into the end zone for looks like his 2nd rushing touchdown of the day. Mud Dogs now make this a 2-possession game with now pulling ahead 41-32. West Kentucky now needs to answer here. It's going to be a throw to the left-hand side, and he's going to be pulled out of bounds, but not before he gains 7 yards on the play. Only less than 3 minutes left. Can the Mud Dogs beat the defending Sun Belt champions? But it looks like it's a flag on the play, and it's going to be a false start on West Kentucky, so it's going to be a 2nd and 8 instead. Following the penalty for West Kentucky, they now face a 2nd and 8. It will be interesting to see what Carlos Davis and his Western Kentucky offense comes up with, and it's going to be a scramble up the middle once again, where Davis is able to find a nice hole and get the 1st down anyways, regardless of the penalty. Next play, looks like it's another scramble for Davis, but this time he gets tripped up. It's only a 7-yard gain on the play. Looks like the Western Kentucky is going to have to deal with a 3rd and 3. So here we are, 3rd and 3, and he's going to be sacked by Jason Washington. Jason Washington is able to get in there, basically jukes the left tackle, just has too much speed for the tackle to handle, and it's going to be a longer 4th and 8. So what could potentially be the ball game right here, it's going to be just a short throw to the halfback, but the Mud Dogs are able to rally, and it's going to be a turnover on downs. Only a minute 30 left in the game. It looks like the Mud Dogs are going to be able to come out on top and win this ball game for the Mud Dog faithful. And to put the little cherry on top, Casey Bugg is able to get into the end zone and really extend this lead to let the rest of the conference know that the Mud Dogs are here and they are ready to compete for the Sun Belt Championship. And to make that point really known, we go for the 2-point conversion here, and Casey Bugg is able to complete it successfully in what's going to be the last meaningful play of the game for both teams, essentially. The Mud Dogs are gonna go ahead and complete their revenge on the defending Sun Belt champions by winning this game 49-32 against the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. It was a hard-fought game between these two teams, but at the end of the day, the Mud Dogs were able to execute just a little bit better in terms of the second half once they got that offense rolling, and that's the biggest key to why the Mud Dogs were able to win this game here today. Looking at the stats for the Mud Dogs here for today's game, it's going to start off with the passing stats for the Mud Dogs, as it was a rough day for Stan Castillo. Ended up throwing only 4 for 10 for 73 yards and 3 interceptions, so definitely a rough game for Stan Castillo, but he made it up with his rushing attack. Had 18 carries for 204 yards and 2 touchdowns with a long of 80 yards. Was also assisted by Casey Bugg with 21 carries for 180 yards, and even Carl Wright's 25 yards and 2 touchdowns that happened towards the goal line as well. Looking at the receiving numbers, not too much to look at. Casey Bugg did lead all receivers with 2 catches for 32 yards. So he had half of Stan Castillo's completed passes. Also, John Espinoza and Tim Smith also caught a pass, 26 yards and 15 yards each. And then Darren Joyce had a drop, so could have been 5 for 10 instead of 4 for 10. Matt Long led the team with free pancakes. And then Bobby Boucher and Lyle Rubadux each had 7 tackles on the day. Really anchoring that Mud Dogs defense that really had to step up, because this is a game that they could have easily lost with how rough the offense was playing in that first half. But it wasn't the case. Jason Washington and Lyle Rubadux also each had 3 sacks. The Mud Dogs had 9 sacks total for today's game. You know, just really amazing job, able to get towards the quarterback and finish off those pressures with sacks instead of allowing the quarterback to throw it away, or even worse, get a completed pass at the last second. 2 interceptions were also thrown by the West Kentucky quarterback. Joe Thompson, the true freshman, was able to get 1 of the interceptions. Then Tyree Pickens gets his 2nd interception on the season with his 2nd pick. Tyree Pickens obviously been a huge boost for this team. And then Bobby Boucher did force a fumble that was recovered by us and was picked up by the senior captain in TJ Covington. from the free safety position. So really nice job by our defense. And then thanks to how well we played against the Mud Dogs, or not the Mud Dogs, but against Western Kentucky, we did get a commit from John Casey, three-star JUCO tight end, who is going to be a really nice replacement for this for this Mud Dogs team once John Espinoza graduates. But next week we'll play against our Bourbon Bowl rivals and the Raging Cajuns. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Make sure you leave a like, leave a comment for your boy, and if you are new to the channel and really like my content, I really encourage you to subscribe to my channel. I will be dropping more college football as well as a little bit of pro basketball content. Until then, I'll see you next time. Peace.